Welcome to Fantasy Baseball, Baseball, Baseball. I'm Dan O'Day along with Steve Romano. Hey, Steve, let's talk about the DraftMasters Roto League we're in.
DraftMasters Roto League. It's our big league, big money buy-in. It's been going on for pretty much 20 years. COVID messed some years up, but we all meet live auction draft in a suite in Vegas. We fly in from around the country, 30-man rosters, a minor league slot, 4 IL slots. Yeah, it's a pretty deep a pretty deep day-to-day league for
A-
sure.
Absolutely. Two catchers, quarter infielder, middle infielder. That's why there's extra roster spots. It's a fun league, still going on. Lots of fun. Let's go right into the action. Let's go what we all want to know. Who's in first place? And that's Apocalypse Now. They
Rick
have,
is playing
yeah.
well.
Absolutely.
And
Tom had said that he thought Rick's team was great coming out of the draft, and he's correct because he's got 36 batting points and 37 pitching points. A very well-rounded team. He's in first place with 73 points. Pretty impressive.
and even, he's been in like the top 3 or 4 for
Yeah,
pretty much the whole year,
pretty
maybe
much.
outside of the first few weeks. But
Absolutely.
he's always the impressive thing is his team's always been even between batting and pitching. Like even when
All
he was
season.
32 and 31, and
Yeah.
then 34 and 33. Now it's 36 and 37. So the gains he's made have been just as even. And that's kind of hard to do. You can't really plan for that.
No, well, it was a great draft. Tom called it coming out of the draft, and it's very impressive. I'm in second place. My Stony Scrappers, 70 points, only 3 games back. We've been playing pretty well. We got some players back from the IL, which helped a lot. Seager and Jazz or Chisholm was both on the IL. They came back at the same time I made the Yelich trade. I want to bring up that Yelich trade I made with the team who's we're going to bring up in a second, tied for third place. That was one of those trades that's really worked out for both teams. Yelich's been playing well, and DeGrom has been playing really well for Garrett.
Yeah, I know that was a strength for strength type of thing. He needed pitching, you needed hitting. You were trading from strength to shore up weaknesses. It made total sense. Um, it seems like DeGrom's been better for him.
Yep,
Not to take too much away from Yelich, but
yep. Yelich has been
DeGrom is
good.
starting to look like, yeah, but DeGrom's starting to look like DeGrom,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, believe me, I wish he would have accepted the Senga trade, who then got injured. But he's coming back. I have 40. I had both trades up offered to him. I had 45 and a half pitching points, but only 24 and a half batting points. Although, remember a few weeks ago, I only had 15 batting points. So my batting has gotten a lot better. But I'm not as well rounded. Tied for third is Seatown, 64 and a half points, and the Crushers, Highland Park, because he has 44 batting points and 20 and a half pitching points. That's Garrett's team. And DeGrom has helped that 20 and a half come up. It was in the teens before. So that was your top 4 teams. And then the Baseball Fury at 62 in fifth place, also above 60 points. They have also a lopsided team with 41 pitching points and 21 batting points. His offense has really slowed down.
Quite a bit. And let's not forget, in our thread of the guys, all the general managers of this league are in a WhatsApp thread that we frequently are texting with each other. And Garrett was the one who said, well, boys, looks like it's time to pack it in because Zach's running away with this thing.
Yes.
And I believe on that day, I could look it up. I could easily check the receipts on this, but I think Zach had 76,
Yeah.
and the team in second had 70, right?
Yep.
And now here it is, what, maybe a month later, 3 weeks later? Um, but Zach has 62, down from 76.
Wow.
And yeah, so his team has fallen quite a bit.
Quite a
Just
bit. I
not
was
quite the.
I
I mean,
I'm
me and you jumped
surprised.
all over Garrett right when he said it. Like, hey, there's a
Yeah.
lot of baseball to be going on.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well,
But
I tell you what he was
I
doing. He
didn't
was
really
jinxing
expect
them.
this.
He was jinxing them. That's what he was doing. I wanted to look
Ah,
real quick to see
well,
why his offense has gone down because his pitching is pretty respectable still, and really only I mean, Teoscar Hernandez, he's got a little injury, but he's slowed down. He's still at 14 homers and 54 ribbies, only batting 257. So he's slowed down a lot. I know he's had some injury things off and on. But yeah, Zach is falling big time. And as we said, his batting, I mean, think about it now. I now have a better offense than him. And you yourself is way ahead of him in offense. And let's talk about the next two teams. There's Tommy Baseball, 56 points. That's only 17 points off the lead and only 8.5 points off the top four. Um, he's had a great resurgence. Also, his batting has gotten better. I think we talked about it before. Needs to get his games played and his at bats. He's done well. He's up to 21.5 points. And then right behind him at 54.5 points is your team. You now have 27 batting points and 27.5 pitching points.
Yeah, and at my lowest, when I bottomed out at 33.5, I had 22 pitching and 11.5 hitting.
11.5 hitting. Well, you had discussed before you started recording about you had back-to-back amazing offensive days last week.
Yeah, I when I got the email, my team for last week, it was the 12th best week any of us had had all year. And I had one day where my team hit 10 home runs with 20 runs and 19 RBI. And they hit like 456 that day, right? And
Wow.
then like the next day, my team hit like 376 and I had 7 home runs with 15 runs and 14 RBI. So I just had these two fucking monster days, and
Now you got
my
27
offense has
batting
kind of
points.
been coming around.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
they've
now I
come
got
around.
27 batting points.
It's better than my team, that's for sure. Only by 2.5, but still better. And then behind you, Sluggers are 48.5 points back, which is, a stone throw away from you. And I still think you're only 10 points back of fourth place, right?
You know,
So, yeah,
there was a day during this week though when I looked, and Hunter was ahead of me. Like
wow,
at one point, Hunter had 50, he had like 54, and I was at 53, and Tom was at like 51.
wow.
So all three of us could fluctuate like 5 points either direction fairly easily on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely. And Sluggers have 32 batting points, which is very respectable, but only 16.5 pitching points.
And he has Hunter Brown, right? Because that's his Astros boy.
Does he have Hunter Brown? I would
I
have to
would think
look.
so. I think he kept him, and I
Well,
think I mocked that.
you mocked a top two pitcher probably this year so far.
I know. I'm pretty sure I did.
He does have Hunter Brown. So very interesting. Wow. So he's got Hunter Brown, who's great season, 182 ERA, 1.090 whip, 9 wins, 126 Ks. So one of the best pitchers, but yet he's only got 16 pitching points, which means the rest of his staff is not that good. Kelly, Cease,
What was
Baz.
the who did who did he trade? He traded. Is he the guy who traded Hader to Garrett for a hitter?
Yes.
Nito? Did he right?
Yes.
Was it
Yes.
Hader for Nito?
And at the time, if anyone listened to that podcast, I said it confused me because Hunter needs pitching stats more than he needs hitting stats. He was also ahead in batting points over pitching points at that point. So he did trade for Nito. Now
Yeah,
listen, I like Nito. I'm a fan. I think he's really good, and I think he's a keeper, to be honest with you. His salary is $1. He's,
yeah,
51.
definite keeper.
Yeah, he's
Definite.
a definite keeper. Um,
Yeah,
for $6 next year. So it was a great trade for that, for keeper next year. But yeah, it was questionable because he could use all those Hater. Just think, if he had Hater, he'd have like the best reliever and like the best starter.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Uh,
would. Hunter
it'd be
Brown.
interesting to know, like, I mean, go look at the day of the trade, look at the stats, and be like, but it isn't just like that because I mean, getting Hater back for sure, but taking Nito off, well, you would have been playing other guys in that slot, so who knows how many stats you really did lose, you know?
True.
I'm just curious to see like who's coming out the better end of that. Because
I
remember, at
don't.
one point Garrett had
Yeah.
a 50 in hitting, and now he's at 44. Did
Yes.
trading away, did trading
Ne-
away Yelich and Nito make him lose those 6 points?
I would say it contributed. I
Did
don't think he was playing Nito a lot because I think Nito was injured in the beginning of the year, and I saw him on his bench a little. But Yelich has been pretty good for me. I mean, he's definitely still playing well. I'm happy with how he's been playing. When was that trade? You think like a month ago, maybe 3, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, 3 weeks
Okay,
ago.
okay. Well, Yelich is batting 333 with 4 homers and 20 ribbies. That's 28 days for me. The last 28 days. So if it was 4 weeks ago, Yelich is the 46th ranked player. Now Degrom is better. He's like 38 in last month. I just looked it up. Uh, with three
It was
wins.
June 7th.
So it is a month. So those stats are correct.
So it's, yeah, if you look up last 28 days, that's pretty much right on the money.
So yes, could 11 runs, 4 homers, and 20 ribbies with 3 stolen bases help Garrett? No doubt.
Yeah.
But as bad as his pitching has been in the last days, without DeGrom, he would have, he's ranked 38 in the last 28 days. 3 wins he wouldn't have, 26 Ks in 25 innings, a great 216 and 0.80 whip. So those stats have obviously helped his pitching, which is his weak point. But it's a good point. He went from 50 down to 44, you said.
Yeah.
That is an interesting observation. He did trade away two good offensive players.
And he got back two great fucking pitchers. Don't get me wrong. But when it all
Absolutely.
comes down to it, did the math work out in your favor?
Right. I would say so. He's lost 6 points. I would bet that Hader and DeGrom have brought him 4 to 6 points. I'm without looking and figuring out all the numbers, which is a lot of boring listening as I look at the numbers. Because, Hader, we looked it up recently. We were talking or whatever. I mean, we talked in the thread. He's the best reliever out there right now. Still.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
he is. Absolutely.
His numbers, his categories that count in fantasy, his numbers are outrageous, actually.
Hmm.
So those are the standings in DraftMasters. Any interesting pickups or drops to you, or games played interesting? Let's do that, Steve. Let's look at games played real quick and innings pitch
All right.
and stuff
Okay.
because
Well,
we're
real quick,
talking about time.
let
Yeah, go
me,
ahead.
sure. I'm go to that page. I've got all those things pulled up. But first, let's go through some last 28 days thing,
Okay, absolutely.
just so we can see.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just roll out these are the team ops over the last 28 days.
Okay.
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 Tommy Baseball, number one with an 838 team ops. So over the
Wow.
past 28 days, Tom's hitting the best.
Wow.
Mike's is 825. Yours is 816.
Oh, nice.
Mine's 850. Mine's 815. Apes is at 801.
Yeah.
Hunter's at 763.
Hmm.
Garrett is at 744 with
Hmm.
Zach, who is also 744. And then Baldy's 741 and Eddie's 686.
Wow.
So looking at hitting since the 28 days, 10, 9, 8, 7. Garrett is seventh with team ops. And yeah, and you were you're third in team ops.
Wow.
Okay, so
Nice.
going down to the pitching now, I tried to find the most, something similar to
Uh,
team ops for
yeah.
pitching.
What are you going to go
And the
with?
one I find is it's on base against.
Okay.
Okay. So, base runners allowed basically. Um, the best over the past 28 days is Rick with an
Wow.
on base percentage against of 255. Pretty
Wow.
good.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
good.
yours is second at 269.
Good pitching.
Garrett at 284. Zach at 285. Mike at 291. Me at 292. Baldy at 240. Hunter at 303. Tommy at 307. And Eddie's last with a 332. on base percentage against.
Wow. Wow.
So
So
your
so
team
Garrett's
is
my team has been good pitching wise all year and doing so, but Garrett's team wasn't that far back.
no, he has the third best one over the past 28 days. It's Rick, you and him for pitching, and then Tom, Mike, and you for hitting, as far as like the best three team performances over the last 28 days.
Very interesting. And yet there's Rick on top of 73 points. But like we said, he's got one of the most balanced teams. We should really kind of look at Rick's team because it's good. Real quick, do you mind if we do that?
Yeah, let's look at Rick's team.
Let's look at Rick's team because it's in first place. Very balanced. He's got Diaz and Goodman as your catchers. He was talking about how great Goodman is, and he's right. 281, 16 homers, 50 ribbies, 44 runs, plays catcher and outfield. He's
Rank
playing a lot.
ranked 73. Yeah, when you have
Wow.
someone in the catcher slot ranked 73, that's a win.
Man, that's amazing actually. Wow, he's right. He's definitely right. Then he's got his first baseman is Bellinger, who's, been pretty much as advertised, right? 272, 13 homers, 47
Yeah,
ribbies, 45 runs, 9 stolen bases. That's what, they were hoping to get out of him. I think maybe a little better, but overall. Horner, he plays him because he's got 16 stolen bases. He's batting 287, so he's not bringing them down. The rookie Barger, I think it's Barger, 269, 11 homers, 35, 34 with only two. He's been filling a gap. He's been slowing down, but he's been a good find for him. I mean, Henderson, Bogarts, Brandon Lowe, who's played really home. Brandon Lowe has 19 homers, by the way.
yeah.
That's impressive.
272 too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really impressive. Then he has Riley Green, who we talked about in different formats, in MLB talk. 286, 22 homers, 71 ribbies, 50 runs, only one stolen base. So he's having a great season, but
Whew,
as you brought up,
71. Yeah.
yeah, 71 ribbies is crazy. 77 leads in major leagues. But as you said before, he strikes out almost a third of the time.
Like 30%. So,
Close. Okay. Not quite a
he's one
third,
of
but
it's close. Yeah, I mean, it's just like guys saying, the guy's got red flags. You're just like the wheels could come off at any moment. But until they do, he's the number 20 ranked player in the league. That's crazy.
that is crazy, actually. Wow. And then he's got, listen, Rodriguez, people are a little disappointed, but he's with his average at 247. But with 53 runs, 43 ribbies, 11 homers, and 15 stolen bases, he's been playing well. I know he's been playing great center field, I believe.
Yep, he does. He's yes, he grades defensively well in center.
And he's ranked 63
And
overall.
yeah, and
Then
then
Rooker,
Rooker from the Athletics, who I really it kind of came out of nowhere last year, right?
yeah.
Was it last year his breakout year?
Yes, no. In 2023, he had 30 homers, but only batted 246. Last year, he had 39
Hmm.
homers and batted 293. So it was a little more. He played not that many more at bats, 80 more at bats. He had 9 more homers, but he batted 246 to 293. So more of a breakout last year. 2 years ago, they only had 69 ribbies. Last year, it had 112. So yeah, I would consider it more
Yeah,
of a
there you
breakout. Yeah, absolutely. And then Soto, for all the talk about Soto, he's ranked 17th.
yeah, that is astounding. I'm I'm really just looking now. I did not know he had 21 home runs. I
21
didn't.
homers, 10 stolen bases, 65 runs, obviously on a good offensive team, 51 ribbies. I mean, he's not playing as great as, I mean, you want him to be the best player because he's making the most money, right? I mean, right, that's what you hope for if you're a Yankee
Yep.
executive. But he's not playing bad. He's a
A Matt.
17th best player.
Yeah, I mean shit, the guy could go 40-20 and have 120 runs and 100 RBI.
Oh, that's
So
crazy.
who cares if he hits 265 if he goes 40-20, 100-100, you know?
Absolutely. A little under the 40 pace, but yeah, he could. Then Frelick, he's getting some good play from Frelick, who's batting 294, 40 runs, 36 ribbies, only 6 homers, but he does have a good amount of stolen bases with 15. And then Friedel, same kind of deal, getting some good average. no homers. Well, he has 8 homers. Edmund, remember he was talking up Edmund so big in the beginning of the year because Edmund started like hair
Yeah.
was on fire the first month or two, first couple months
Yeah, he
actually. To
did.
be honest with you, yeah, he
No,
was just yeah. Um, but now he's come back to earth. He's had some injury problems. Still playing well, but he's down to 239. He's got still 10 homers, which I think he had a month ago. So he slowed down. He's on his bench. Vargas, bro, he lost Bregman. That was a big loss.
yeah. I mean,
Isn't he?
Bregman was like ranked in the top 30 when he went down.
Isn't he coming? I think he's feeling great, and we'll have his status reassessed this weekend a week ago. So Bregman's working towards getting back. So, he's got a very good offense, and we got to touch on his pitching because he's such an even team. I mean, he's getting some great pitching. Evaldi, Webb, who we talked about in our MLB segment, just a solid horse for the Giants. Kirby's pitched well so far, right? Overall. Woo. He's got
Kirby had
woo.
one game where Kirby had one game that was terrible, right? Where it was
Right.
just like it all was awful.
But then besides
And then
that,
everything else is, yeah, everything else besides that has been good or fucking fantastic.
actually his first 2 games gave up 5 and 6, but after that he's been fantastic. I just looked real quick. And then he's got Woo. So he's got Ovaldi, Webb, and Woo. That is a nice top three with Giolito pitching well and Mize pitching really well for Detroit. One of the reasons Detroit's just shooting ahead in this AL
Yeah.
Central. He's 9-2, 2.63 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. Very impressive staff if you think about it. And Flaherty was supposed to be better than he is. Not pitching great, but he's like your number 5 or 6 for him. Pretty impressive. Giolito not doing so well though, actually, huh?
Well, he had some bad starts too, but I think if you look at his game log, he's on a 3 or 4 game stretch where he's been pitching very well.
Right. And do you have the solds in front of you?
Do, do, do.
Because he
Yes,
probably has some good
sold.
sold guy. Look at his team in solds. Well, what's his solds?
Let's see here.
I'm gonna look in the league. So Ape's team, as we review, is very good in solds. He's actually seventh, right? So but he's only one behind sixth place, Big Al. He's only six behind
He's got
you and Tommy. So he's got a lot of points to make up right there.
Carlos Estevez has 24, Andres Munoz has 21, Brian King from Houston has 18, David Bednar has 15, Raciel Iglesias for Atlanta has 11. Those are his solds guys.
Those are his sold
He's
guys,
got
and
one, two, three, four, five
five.
right now on his active roster.
And just to let you know, he is 1 point behind, one sold behind the guy in front of him, only 6 solds behind 2 other teams, only 8 solds behind me. I mean, there is a place Abe could make some points but it's hard to find the top cream of the crop sold guys at this point.
Um, it's it's not impossible. Like,
No,
I mean, I looked a few days ago and there were still, I mean, I saw like four or
top
five
20.
guys that could fit the
Yeah,
mold right out of the gate, like a solds guy who has active solds over the past month, who has a good K rate, who has a decent ERA and whip, or a good ERA and whip, and a fair amount of appearances. I saw like 4 or 5 of them just the other day, and I was looking at the ones I had, and that's the thing. It's such a small sample size because you're kind of like, oh, well, they've all gotten blown up at least twice, right?
yeah,
They've all had at
absolutely.
least 2 of those appearances. It's just a matter of the one that the guy on your team just had 2 this week, so you have a bad taste in your mouth. But
Absolutely.
there's other
Or
guys
or
on,
right away
but there's
because yeah, go ahead.
yeah, but there's other guys on my team that I'm like, well, they had it, and I just sat through it, and now they've pitched like 9 appearances in a row without giving up a run.
Right. And
You
that is
know,
the way to look at it because if they have a blow up, more than likely, if their stats are decent, they're probably going to pitch good for 8 or 9 appearances. I picked up Keller from the Cubs because he was a guy I looked like, wow, look at all the solds he has. Look at his ERA and his whip is great. His first game for me in the lineup, he gave up 5 runs. I don't even think he finished the inning.
Right, yeah.
And like you said, more than likely, if I hold on to him, his stats tell me he's probably going to have a good run of 8 or 9. But I didn't want him. I dropped him right away. I was like, nope. But
Sure. Well, and
yeah,
the point being is, if you want to swap somebody out based off your emotional state at the moment, or if you just want to add because you feel you need more, there's still guys there. There's
absolutely.
guys there right fucking now, you know?
Absolutely. Could you go to my team in Solds? Because I'm looking at
Yep.
through my phone. Now, one
You're
thing,
n
yeah, I'm number one or two, second or third. I'm running in Solds, I think, for the year. I'll go look real quick.
your number one guy is Tony Santillan, or however you say his name.
Yes.
He's got 20. Alex
Nice.
Vesia has 19. Robert Garcia has 17. Lucas Erceg has 16. Randy Rodriguez has 13. Yariel Rodriguez has 11. There's your
11.
guys.
I
One,
just
two,
picked him
three,
up.
four, five, six.
I have six, and I actually am one short. I dropped Keller, like I just said, from the Cubs. So I have a roster spot open. I'm going to pick up another thing. One of my things about my team, I wanted to ask you, and you blew to look. I have two guys who are SPs. My top guy is also an SP that you just mentioned um,
Yeah.
for the Reds. So I got him in my. So I can have seven guys getting holds. The other guy is, I think you said he had 11. Is Rodriguez from Toronto? His overall stats have been fantastic. As which Rodriguez has 11? The Toronto guy or the San Francisco guy? Toronto guy.
San Francisco's 13, Toronto's 11, but they both have SP next to their
Right.
name.
Oh, I didn't know. So I could put him up there too. I did not realize that. Wow.
So
So that's
you've got three of those guys.
I could have eight guys getting holds, but that would definitely limit other roster spots for me hitting starting pitching.
Sure,
But
but now let
that's my
me
question. What SPs are out there getting holds?
well, you know, that's something I've wondered when you're talking about fantasy and giving up too much information. Like, I think we've done enough pitching of what it is to help guys get souls and everything. But yeah, sure. One
Sure.
other thing they should be looking at is someone who has all those things we've already talked about, all those characteristics and stats, and also having SP eligibility.
Also having
That
SP.
is the cherry on top.
That's a cherry on top. I have three of those guys. It's not by coincidence, just to let you know. And the three guys I got, I mean, Rodriguez for San Francisco, I mean, he's got a 0.69 ERA and a 0.76 WHIP. I mean, he's pitching outrageously good. Same with Toronto guy, 2.64 ERA, but a 0.92 WHIP. And then, of course, you said Santillan. He's got a 3.10 ERA, a little higher than I like, but a 1.10 WHIP, and he's my sold leader. So I mean, very valuable. That's who I got. Rick can make up some points. It was an interesting review of Rick's team because he's in first place and he's a very balanced team.
I currently have seven Souls guys on my
Seven.
roster,
So you have two in
and
SP.
three three of them are SPRP
So you
eligible.
could also have eight if you wanted to.
And I do well, I could, yeah, right.
You
I
could
have
you
seven
could pick
going one
somebody up.
way.
You could pick somebody else up, put the other guy up with SP.
Yeah, exactly. I could.
Well, I'm going to real quick look, Steve. In solds, you are you're fourth with 90. So realistically, I'm ahead of you with 92, and Highland Park with 98. So you can gain 2 points,
I only I added my
two and
yeah,
a half,
Zach's way out there for sure.
114.
But I added my seventh guy just recently. I
Okay,
was mostly running with six, you know.
yeah,
So the seventh guy really is just something I did. And yeah, there's been other guys I've seen pick up and like for this thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good pickup. Oh, that's a good pickup. Oh yeah. And part of me is like, oh, I wish I would have grabbed them. but none of them had SP eligibility. So
Right.
even though it sucked to watch them come off the players list, they weren't the true diamonds in the rough.
Absolutely. But there are a few out there. And I just picked up that Toronto pitcher just recently, a week or two ago, and I find he's like a diamond in the rough the way he's pitching. Real quick, so very interesting stat wise, what numbers you want to get, what numbers you're chasing. There's been a few interesting moves, I think, the past couple weeks. I believe just going the past week, you picked up an interesting guy. Well, first of all, Gary Sanchez picked up a C-Town, and that looked like a great move, but then he got injured.
Yeah, I was actually sorting by catchers the other day because I've had a lot of catchers injured. Well, two injured. So yeah, I've been falling behind in games played at the position, and I really can't make any moves to pick up a catcher because I just don't have the rosters to do it with all my injured guys.
Yeah,
And then when he grabbed Gary Sanchez, at first I went and looked, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Gary Sanchez had been playing that good? I had no fucking idea."
he was.
And then he got injured. So I was like, "Oh,
They have
that
I
kind
think
of
they have an
sucks."
injury.
But
That's why he's playing a little more, and he was rising to the occasion. A couple other interesting notes. One by me. I picked up Murphy. Speaking of catchers of Atlanta, I was happy to see he was out there. He's been on a tear, and I dropped Ozuna.
yeah, I was. That was I was happy and sad. I was sad because, well, I have Drake Baldwin, the young rookie catcher, who's getting now the majority of starts for Atlanta.
Well, not
But
yeah, yeah.
but now
Mur-
that Murphy is
Playing well.
playing better
Yeah,
and he's coming back out of it, and because he's signed the money for so long, obviously he's going to get the at bats, and then they'll figure something out to keep them both in the lineup. But
you were
but
happy.
anyways, yeah, I remember when Murphy was dropped, and I was like, oh, I got to keep an eye on him, and I kind of did, but I fucked it up, and you grabbed him, and that bummed me out. But then, yeah, you dropped that fucking bum, Marcelo Ozuna. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we had a lot of discussion about him when I drafted him. I think he's playing partially injured. He hasn't had a great year. He's got like 11 homers or something. He's not having a horrible year, but not a good year. And I was done with it. I have enough other players. I was like, I don't need him. I mean, someone could pick him up and he could get really hot in, August and July, rest of July. I don't know. And I also picked up Kim from Tampa Bay and another big drop. I dropped Stott, who I traded for. I traded Ryan, remember,
Yeah,
who's one of the
I
top
do
10
remember.
pitchers this year. Actually, Ryan's like top 10, 15 pitcher. I dropped Stott, decent player. Someone should pick him up. I may pick him up again. Who knows? But Kim's got a high upside, more stolen base upside, I think, and I just dropped him. Tommy Baseball's been very active on the waiver wire, dropping people and picking them up. I like that. Seatown gave up on Luzardo after another bad start. That was an interesting drop, and I totally understand as a Philly fan why he dropped Luzardo.
Yeah. Although still, from the name, it made me go, "Oh, what?"
Yeah,
And then
well,
I looked and I was like, "Oh, yeah, right.
yeah,
Okay, that makes sense."
he's had a few blowups, but he's a guy who playing for a good team who has pitched really well this year and a high strikeout. So possible guy to get picked up. He picked up a couple interesting Rodriguez, the starting pitcher from Baltimore, but also Santander.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll
Right?
see.
Has he been
He's
playing well
No,
recently?
I think he's still. I think he's coming off the IL soon. I looked up. I'm not sure. I don't think he's even playing yet. But I like that stab in the dark. And then a couple pickups you
I,
made. Yeah, go ahead.
I like I like his stab in the dark for Grayson Rodriguez too. I think that's a
Absolutely.
great stab in the dark.
Oh, fantastic. Why I brought it up because he's pitching well. Baltimore, still thinking they can catch up. I don't know, but they're playing so much better than they were in the beginning of the year. So he's going to get some wins because he's pitching so well. Um, Geloff, not Bob, was dropped by the Furies. And Olson was picked up, the starting pitcher. Olson, a decent intrigue starting pitcher. Geloff, high upside, low
Yeah,
average.
definitely.
Yeah, Geloff has, Olson pitching great, but Geloff, a guy who could get a lot of stolen bases and home runs, but not bat very well. Then you picked up a couple guys for $2. You picked up Durbin, and dropped Mayer, and picked up Boyle, and dropped Muncy. I thought that was an interesting drop, the Muncy drop, because he will be back. You have too many on the
Yeah.
IL?
You know, Yes, I think I had 7 or 8 guys injured, right?
Right.
So I had to make some moves, 6 or 7 for sure, guaranteed. And I had to make some moves, and it was really just me mapping out the projected returns from the injured list.
Right.
And Muncie's is probably the longest. And then I was just, then I even went and looked like, okay, how many games would be left? And I'm like, oh, okay, there'd be 5 weeks left in the season, blah, blah, blah. That he's, is he coming back good? Is his knee going to be fucked up? Are they going to be nursing him? Does he have to baby it? I mean, it sucked, but that's the decision I went with.
Yeah.
Very similar with dropping Marcelo Meyer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a Red
Absolutely.
Sox prospect that fucking tore at my fucking heart, but I looked through all the numbers. I looked at his underlying things, his exit velocity, his launch angles, his barrel percentage, how like they're not really playing him against lefties at all. He's only playing against righties. And then when Bregman comes back, it's going to be even more crowded in the infield. So it sucked, but I need someone who can play third base. And that Caleb Durbin guy, he's a young kid too, and he's
Yep.
been playing great.
He's been
So
playing great.
I made the move.
I like the $2 bids too. Wanted to get them in. Hopefully, somebody bid one. And also, I got to bring up because I dropped Stott, and I gave up a really good player for Stott. You're the player you picked up when you made a big trade. Didn't you drop Campbell? Hello?
Who?
Your Red Sox
Yeah.
player. Didn't you drop him? You traded
Oh,
Teoscar?
Campbell. Yeah, Christian Campbell. Yeah. Yeah. That trade at the beginning. Yep.
Yeah.
So I had two of the three Red Sox big prospects, and now
You
they've
just
both been dropped by me.
Yeah, and the one you traded at the time, a top offensive player for, he slowed down and had some injuries. But we both made some trades, trading good players away and then just dropping the guys we got.
Yeah,
Not a good
I know.
practice. I'd rather have Joe
No,
Ryan
I
right
would not
now.
recommend it.
No, I'd rather have, and I'm sure even with Teoscar not playing better, good, well, right now, I think you'd rather have Teoscar Hernandez also. Um, so
Yeah.
that's Draft Masters. It's a great league. Hopefully someone listens because we love talking about it. But right now, I really feel there's a lot of teams definitely within the money. I mean, all the way down to you, possibly even sluggers, seventh, eighth position. You're only 10 points behind
Look,
fourth place.
I know I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm going for it now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking try to finish. I'm gonna try to. I want to finish fourth. It's whatever else is whatever else, but I'm really gonna shoot for fourth.
You should. You should. You're only 10 points behind third, also, so because they're tied. So it's always a fun league. I'm in 3 points behind Ape, who we did a great breakdown of because his team is so good and my team's okay. We're just a little past halfway. We got about 70 games left, so we'll see what happens. That's Draft Masters Roto League. I'm Dan O'Day. That's Steve Romano. Cheers.
Have a good one.